You own nothing. You own nothing in America. Once again, I'm your girl, Keisha Reacts, coming back at you. And with this episode, I take to heart because this is a little personal. Welcome to America, where you own nothing. Now, this is some interesting studies. According, more than 1 out of 3 American households are financially insecure. This is and done in 2024. Financially insecure, meaning we're broke. We're broke, y'all. Let that sink in. 36% of households reported in April that had somewhat or very difficult time paying their bills, usually household expenses in the past week. That is up by 6%. 6%. That's 6% from 34% during the same period in 2022. And they did this study back in July of 2024. I'm going to get into some creators, but this is very interesting. Until the end, now in the very end, it's going to show how it's going to play out in 2025. Are you guys ready for 2025?
Who
Let's
in
go.
charge of the rent prices? But I know you see them down here finessing the shit out of us. Cause ain't no way rent either 1,500 or 2,000 plus out here in Chicago. Anything under that 1,500, get used to gunshots every night. They increasing our rent every time we renew our lease. And ain't changing shit about the apartment. Apartment getting worse than worse by the year. There definitely need to be some requirements to this shit. Cause they should not be renting apartments with appliances from 1985. How y'all out here trying to rent out apartments with pink tubs and stick and peel flooring? Talking about we need to make 3 times the rent for what? Our parents was paying $400 or $500 for these ran down ass apartments and they was in way better shape. Got different flooring in every room. Shit tacky as hell. Yes, we been noticing y'all been painting over those electric plugs, light switches. We been stopped caring. We need somewhere to stay.
What does the American government think is going to happen if rent prices continue to increase and our salaries are not increasing with it? Genuinely, what do they think is going to happen? I truly don't understand not doing rent caps. I know that's a thing in New York, but I'm from the South. I've never heard of such a thing down here. I only hear about it in New York. That needs to be instituted nationwide, and it needs to be by state, by square footage of the apartment, how many bedrooms, has it been updated, things like that. Because the thing that doesn't make sense to me is I'm in the same apartment for years. You're not changing my carpet. You're not painting any walls in here. You're not giving me new appliances. And you're increasing the price of staying here every year, but nothing is changing. Like, I would totally respect it if you renovated my place and made it luxury and then increased the price. I would get that. I would respect it. But nothing has changed and you're increasing the price on me. I don't understand, because eventually now I'm lucky that I have been in a place that has been increasing for the past 5 years that I've been here, but it has not increased outrageously. And I believe that is because of when I started living here and the fact that I stayed with them. They're choosing not to raise it outrageously. What happens if I continue to stay here 10 years from now? Is this same apartment going to be $5,000 a month, even though nothing in here has changed? Like, what do people expect to happen? Like, of course, people are going to go out and search for a cheaper place, and they're going to move out of your place. And eventually, if you skyrocket your prices enough, no one is going to live there at all. No one is going to live there because it's not going to be affordable. So what do people think is going to happen when you continue to increase the prices of these things and no one's salary or nothing about the place is changing? Like, it sounds like a rhetorical question, but is there actually a business person, someone out there who knows the logic behind this and knows, like, this is the end goal? What the heck is going on?
With all the scams going on and the renting houses out here, renting apartments, I tell you what, the housing market is no better. They're definitely no better when it comes to pricing, because you just not only have your property taxes, you also have your homeowner's insurance. Trust me, I'm a homeowner as well, and guess what? Our prices has went up very high. So you being a homeowner, what do? You want to rent out your property, but there's a fine line. I know people are complaining about their rent going up, but as a homeowner, guess what? Our property taxes, the insurance, and we have other costs that's going up on us as well. So it just rolls down and it keeps going. Let's
What I'm
listen
about
to
to
some of
say
these.
may piss a lot of landlords off, but I don't really care at all. But I'm gonna read to y'all the qualifications that this person wants for this house. And it ain't an amazing ass house. We're not talking about anything super expensive. The rent, like I said, is $16.95, $40 application fee per adult. They want you to make 3.5 times the rent. Standard for whatever reason is 3 times the rent. When majority of Americans don't even make 3 times a $1,600 a month rent. I don't know where people just get up and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make this a national standard that people have to make 3 times the rent amount. Majority of people can afford 2 times the rent on a specific basic home like this. But this person is going even further. They don't want you to have 3 times the rent. They want you to have 3.5 times the rent. They want the last 2 years of your W-2s, the last 3 months of your check stub, driver's license or ID, social security card. They want you to make 2 months worth of rent as your security deposit before you even move in, and you have to have a credit score of at least a 670. I'm trying to tell you off the bat, that disqualifies so many people from being able to be in a home that is decent. Let's add that up, why don't we? Off the rip, you have to pay first month's rent, $16.95. You have to pay $40 application fee per adult, and let's just say the standard adult is 2 adults, right? You have to pay, if you have a pet, which majority of people in Houston do have pets, dogs, it's a $250 non-refundable fee per pet. So let's just say you have a pet. We're going to add that up. And then you have to make 2 months of the rent to equal the amount of the security deposit. So that's $16.95 times 2. All right. And on top of that, we're not even talking about your utilities and all the things that you have set up. They want you to have rental insurance before you move in. Standard rental insurance is probably about $25 a month. Let's just say that. Before you can even move into this house, sitting in a savings account somewhere or just idle money, you already got to come off of this amount of money. I don't know at what point we stop being human, though. Even as an investor and a landlord, at what point did we stop being human and we say money trumps everything, including people? I don't get it.
My rent in Miami has gone up $750. And let's not even say Miami, North Miami. If you know, you know. North Miami is a older area. They are building some new stuff, but it's an older area. The apartments are old. They don't really have any amenities. Like my apartment does not have a fitness center, pool, nothing. There's not even an on-site office, okay? It's literally just your apartment is what you get, okay? And that's pretty much it. And again, it's an old building. They have done some renovations in the unit, but the bones have some issues. But the cost when I moved in was only $1,200, okay? And the pros of this building is that the units are spacious, okay? Y'all know these new apartments are so tiny. And so this building is clearly built for families. I can do an apartment tour because I'm actually moving out. I can do an apartment tour and show y'all how big it is. But again, there's no amenities. There's nothing that makes it worth what they're charging. So when I moved in 2021, the rent was $1,200, okay? Right now, I'm paying $1,800. When I first moved in, pretty much everybody in this building had been here for like 5+ years, okay? It was mainly Haitian people, like almost 100%, maybe 98% Haitian, and then 2% just African Americans or Jamaican. And yeah, everybody lived here for a long time. It was very family friendly. People would be outside all day, kids playing. It was a very homey neighborhood. I loved it. Once they did that rent increase, which was initially like $500, $600, it went up to $1,800. Everybody moved out, okay? Everybody and their mother moved out. The apartment complex actually tried to increase the rent higher, but nobody was renting it, so they lowered it. So as of right now, if I were to renew, it would be $1,950. But the craziest part about them changing the rent or raising it that high, they have not been able to keep people. So you have people who were living here 5 to 10 years, and now people are either leaving as soon as their lease renews, or I can name at least 4 people who broke their lease. When my rent went up to $1,800, or when they increased the rent, so actually it was $1,200, then it went to 14, and then it went to 18. The only thing that they offered with the rent increase was they included internet. Okay, even when I was paying for internet, it was only like $60, and then valet trash. Water was already included. Valet trash, that doesn't account for $600. Okay, it just doesn't. The people next to me moved out after 2 months because of a plumbing issue. My apartment complex, if it's something that their maintenance cannot fix, it is your responsibility to get fixed. And it's like with plumbing issues, it might not just be limited to that unit. So how are they supposed to get a plumbing issue fixed if the plumber might need to go in other units? So they moved out after 2 months. They told me, they were like, their apartment stinks like sewage and nobody's doing anything about it. Another couple, 2 doors down, they moved out after 6 months. I don't know what happened. Another couple, they had a child. Both these couples had children. They moved out after like 8 months. People above me moved out after like 8 months. It's like, these apartments are not worth, I'm sure they're paying more than me because they came after me. These apartments aren't worth $2,000. I could literally move north to Broward and go into a newer apartment that's updated, that's a new building, and pay $2,000. Why would I pay that for an old building? And then I feel like they forget that a lot of people in Miami, they're immigrants, you know, and immigrants don't mind staying, like renting a house and having all their family live in one house. Like, we don't need they don't need their own place. I'm not an immigrant, but, and I've had problems with my unit, but for $1,200, I didn't care, and it's a big unit. But literally, when I was living in Jacksonville, Florida, I was living in a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom townhouse, and the rent was like $1,400. And you want me to pay $2,000? And that apartment complex had 2 pools, fitness center, leasing office, and you want me to pay $2,000 for an apartment with no amenities whatsoever. Some of the units don't even have washer and dryer, and you want me to pay that? Like I said, this used to be such a family-friendly neighborhood. Like, I used to love living here just because of seeing the kids run around. Everybody was so nice. People hanging out in the parking lot. I used to be going out there too, and hanging out. And the crowd has changed because people with children can't afford to live here. Like, the crowd has not changed for the better. So this building went from full occupancy to now they can't keep people at all. It's not full anymore. I'm moving out this week, like a lot of people. And I'm noticing a lot of Miami apartments are not renting. Like, when I was looking at new apartments, some apartments were doing the first 3 months free. Okay, I saw an apartment that I had looked at last year that was just way too expensive, and it's down like $300 or $400. So they're building up everywhere in Miami. They're building new apartments everywhere, and I think that it's going to cause the prices to go down because the supply is exceeding the demand. But if you live in Miami, how much rent are you paying? And if you want to see my apartment, I'll show it to you.
Why are so many people struggling here financially, especially here in the States? Well, the question lies in inflation. We all know that answer. The evaluated prices have largely persisted, which means that Americans continue to face affordability challenges on a range of things, both necessity and discretionary, including homes, vehicles, car insurance, food, electricity, and travel. Indeed, the rate of price increase for food and substitute. And this brings me to this. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Do you think that we're being scammed? Because over the summer, back in June, I personally took a trip. We went out of town for about a week, went to a whole different state. All the lights were off. Everything was unplugged. And guess what? We still came home to a bill that was over $300 to $400. No one was home. And following that week, right before we went out of town, we had Beryl. The hurricane happened. So we were out for another week due to no light. So that was 2 weeks and a half with no electricity. So do you think we're being scammed? What do you guys think? Let me know in your comments below. And if you guys were out here during Beryl and that happened to you. I don't know. Everybody's trying to get money out of everybody. Let's continue listening to these creators.
We cannot keep doing this. My husband and I got a notice yesterday that our mortgage payment is going up almost $200 between taxes and insurance. On top of that, my car insurance has gone up. My health insurance has gone up with less coverage. My health insurance now barely covers anything, but the premiums are higher. And daycare costs, insane. Daycare cost, I know colleges that are cheaper than daycare. My college degree costs the same as what I would pay for my daughter to go to daycare for 1 year. And I don't send her to a fancy daycare. That's insane to me. And then on top of everything, I used to be able to go grocery shopping, I kid you not, $100 every other week. I would make it stretch and we would go grocery shopping and I would spend maybe $400 a month on groceries. I probably cannot get out of the store for less than $120 a week now. And that is with me being frugal. I do not know what to do anymore because it's getting to the point where if things keep going up, I genuinely am not going to have money to pay the bills that I have, let alone to pay for food, to pay for clothing, to pay for necessities to get by, like just toiletries. This is just for household bills. I'm almost at the point where I don't know how people make it on one income alone because my husband and I are both working and we are getting by. I don't know how people are doing it now.
No matter what, guaranteed. So I recommend you just live your life.
Our mortgage payment is going up almost $200 between tax.
I've been talking to a lot of people saying that you shouldn't be renting, you should have a mortgage because your mortgage is going to stay the same and it's going to be less than if you rent and blah, blah, blah. That's not necessarily true with property taxes and homeowners insurance and who knows what else. Your mortgage will go up, your rent's going to go up. Living in the States in this day and age is just plain expensive. We have caused other states that used to be inexpensive to be expensive. Houses are just expensive. Just live where you want to live because ultimately it's going to be expensive and go up no matter what, guaranteed. So I recommend you just live your life.
My mortgage went up $1,000 and I am not okay. So let me tell you guys, for the longest time, people be screaming from the hilltop, home ownership is not it. Like, don't rush. And I will just be like, I don't understand it because I'm literally chilling, like cheaper than rent. I was bamboozled. So let me tell y'all what they do not tell y'all about real estate. So they do an analysis every year from, at least with the mortgage that I got, right? And so they did an analysis and basically my mortgage increased by $1,000. And I asked them why. And they were like, something about my house is a new build. And so I guess they charged me for the taxes when it was just the land for 2 years. Then after year 2, they add the taxes with the house actually on it. And they were like, yeah, your builder is supposed to tell you. They didn't. They didn't. And so I asked them, can I sell the house? And they were like, there's no equity in it. You guys see me smiling, but come next month, I'm literally going to be in tears because $1,000 extra a month, I legit want to move back home and live with my parents. But I don't have that option. I'm sick. I'm sick. Honestly, don't buy a house if you're single. Like, buy a house when there's 2 incomes coming in because, baby, you gonna need it.
Let's talk about why. In today's economy, a lot of people's mortgages are the death of them because of the rates, because of the payments, because people are losing their jobs. So let's go a little bit deeper. It seems to me like the American dream is becoming more and more like a nightmare, right? When you can no longer afford your mortgage, but you're in a 30-year term, what would you do? If refinancing would get you a higher rate than what you currently have, you can't go that route. You just lost your job. What are you going to do? I have a client who's currently in this situation. Her mortgage is a little less than $2,000. She makes great money. However, other things in her life are going haywire. Therefore, her mortgage has been on the back. How can I say this? Her mortgage has not been her priority to pay. I personally feel like if she was renting something versus getting a mortgage, she wouldn't be in this situation because of the rent prices in her area currently. What I'm saying is I want people to reevaluate their American dream. Really think about what comes with having a mortgage. Really think about what comes with renting an apartment. I'm at my mama's house now, y'all. We are officially out of mama's house. We are now paying rent. It's $2,000 a month. You cannot think in your right mind and in your wrong mind that I did not prepare for this. People get mortgages and they do not prepare for the rainy days. You should have a substantial emergency savings account. You should not have any credit card debt. Yes, you need a roof over your head, but you don't need that particular roof. There are different housing options out here for you.
PSA for anybody who wants to buy a house that don't own a house right now. My homeowner's insurance just went up $500. Over the last 3 years, my mortgage has gone up from just over $1,400, around $1,472, to $1,555, to now $1,661 in the last 3 years. So the idea of a stable payment, it's a lie. Homeowners insurance up $500, taxes up, everything up. I'm paying mad money for a mortgage that really cost $700 without taxes and insurance, but I don't know how $700 turned into $1,600.
Buying a house. You are buying the right to live in a house and pay the bank. So people need to stop saying, oh, I bought a house, I own my house. You can't, no. You don't own anything someone can take from you, and you did not buy the house. The only time you can say you own your home is if you have no mortgage. Even then you don't own it, because if you don't pay property taxes, they can still take it from you.
To me, if you plan on ever buying a home, do not, I repeat, do not ever get a home with an HOA. I am currently getting sued by my HOA. If you don't know what an HOA is, it's a homeowners association. So when you buy a home, like in a community or whatever, they're the people who like take care of things within the neighborhood. If there's amenity, trash sometimes, lawn services and like that type of thing. I first purchased my home like 5 years ago now. When I first got my home, my HOA started at $200, which was, that's about average. It made sense. My community is very it's real basic, okay? There's no gym, there's no security, there's no gate. They do have a pool, but it's like a community pool. It's not one of those cute, nice pools. It's very I don't even want to swim in it. I have not swam in the pool since I've been there. It's rough, okay? Since then, my HOA rate has gone up to $450 per month. Nothing has changed since the $200 per month. It's just gone up. Apparently, they're just allowed to do that with no rhyme or reason. Inflation, aliens, they can say whatever they want, but the price can just go up and you really have no say. Earlier this year, my HOA decided that they need to waterproof the crawl space under the units. This cost us homeowners an additional $500 per month for 7 months. So the $450 plus $500 plus my mortgage. That's 2 mortgages. So all of a sudden my HOA is now $950 per month. I have all my stuff on auto pay because I ain't trying to remember where my money gotta go. I'm gonna forget. So when the rate changed, my auto pay just stayed, what I had it set at. So I missed the first couple payments. Then I peeped what was going on and I reached out to my HOA I ain't got $950 per month just for my HOA. I ain't got it. I don't have it. And that's crazy. So what do they decide to do? They decide to hire lawyers to basically force me to give them money I don't have. On top of the $950, which I think over the course of 7 months had totaled up to $3,500 total. So now on top of that, they're now also charging me for their lawyer fees for the lawyers they hired to sue me. Make it make sense. How, where, in what world does that make sense? Now I owe my HOA $10,000 and I'm just hello? I'm trying to negotiate with these people I don't have that. Can we just settle for the actual amount of the fucking crawl space or whatever? I'll figure out that money and just get, and they're like, no, you need to pay our lawyer fees too. Okay, well, I ain't got, like, I literally don't have it. What you want me to do? I live in Atlanta, so I don't know if it's different in other states, but here, baby, in Atlanta, they got free reign. They could just out of nowhere raise your HOA to $950 per month. That's literally another mortgage. Why would you do that? What is the reason? If any of y'all been through something like this or have some advice, maybe know something that I don't know, hey, help me out, okay? Help me out, because they about to lock me up. I don't know what happens when you get sued and you just don't have the money. I don't know what happens. I don't know if I go to jail. I don't know. If anybody else is going through this, has gone through this, let me know. And for everybody else who has not gone through this, if you can avoid it, don't get a house with an HOA.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another Keisha Reacts. My final conclusion, and I tell you what, as we head into 2025, a lot of people are just opting out. They're opting out of the market, period. Whether if they're going to live in their vans, living in storage units, people are roommating. You have a lot of people that is actually like 4 or 5 people staying in an apartment just to make it. People are moving back in with their parents. People are either owning land, they're actually downsizing, selling their homes. That's an option that my husband and I, we've been talking about as well. I mean, there's so many things that people are doing heading into 2025. A lot of people have already begun doing this. But you have more people that are leaving this market, period, and saying, hey, enough is enough. I don't want no parts of this. I'd rather just sell everything, downsize, and start over. Or just live a simple life, because I don't want to work your 9 to 5, which I'm going to do another video on that as well. Because remember, we own nothing. We own nothing. I'm your girl, Keisha Reacts. Stay tuned to the next video. Please subscribe to this video. Until then, I'll see you on the next one.